We are recording now.
All
You
right,
may begin.
let's do it. Your head's chopped off.
I know. It's because I have a big head.
You do have a giant noggin there, Sam.
What? Hey, you're not supposed to agree with me. Now,
Yes.
now I'm self-conscious.
Hello, everybody. Here we are with another episode of the Western Contingent. I am Tim from Las Vegas.
I'm Sam from the Pacific Northwest. Welcome, everybody.
Yes, and here we are today with a very special top 10.
Yes.
Yes, however, this is going to be a top 10 of the games that we have played this year. Okay, games we played. Now, we need to set the disclosure or put up a full disclosure, right, Sam?
Yes.
So, folks, just so you understand, neither Sam nor I, neither one of us track our games.
That's a very important point to make.
Yes, that's a very important point to make. So I just want to make sure that is out there.
Yes.
So with that being said, we have both in our best estimations,
Yeah.
kind of figured out the order from 1 to 10 of the games we've played this year. I think mine is pretty close because I am one of those kind of people who play a lot of the same game. So, number 10 on my list, I played 6 times, and everything else is higher. So mine's going to be fairly accurate, I think, even though I don't track.
Yeah, my lower end, as a matter of fact, the bottom 4, 10 through 7, they were all tied at 4. And I have a little bit of a leg up, I guess, even though I don't record all of my plays or not record, but list or track all of my plays. I used the live plays that I've done on the channel, on my channel Flipside, as a basis to go from. Because I imagine that if I play it on the channel, especially multiple times, it's probably going to be up there. But I don't track games that I play at like game nights or game events or necessarily just me and the wife playing or me and the family playing. I don't track any of those things. So I used all of the live streams that I did on the flip side in order to provide a basis and then went from there.
All right, fantastic. Well, I think we should just go ahead and jump into it.
Let's do it.
So, coming in at number 10, again, like I said, these are all estimates, but pretty accurate, is a game I just learned probably about 3 months ago now. But again, I've already played 6 times. I just like that. Once I get a game, get it rolling, and that would be SETI. And I just received my insert yesterday, actually, for it. Again, Sam, it's getting one of those kind of things. I'm opening it up, and I'm like, such a first world freaking thing is getting on my nerves. There's just no reason for me to have this insert. You know what I mean? It's just we get ridiculous. Why am I spending this money?
If you play the game that much, you're gonna storage solutions usually help you set up the game faster, which means you're going to get it to the game table faster anyway.
No, for sure, 100%. But again, it's just one of those kind of things. I'm like, why am I doing this? But yeah, so SETI, I learned it, loved it, my type of game. I don't know why I didn't play it. I had the opportunity like 2 years ago, whatever, to play the prototype. Never touched it, never played it. But once I learned it, I loved it. All in, just fantastic game, SETI. Absolutely great.
Yep, that's a great game. I've only played that once, but it's definitely one that I want to get back to the table as soon as possible because it is a very it's a thematically rich game as well, I think too. I just enjoy a lot of things about that game. That's very good.
Really, really good.
Good pick. My number 10. My number 10 is a game that I've played, like I said, 4 times and over the course of this year since January. And this one is one that I picked up because I liked its predecessor. The company is called Sorry We Are French. I like that name of a company. Yeah. I just think it's funny. But the predecessor was In the Footsteps of Darwin. This one is called In the Footsteps of Marie Curie. And this is a really fun. I mean, it's a game that's based upon Marie Curie's lifetime and the research that she did with radioactivity and all of this other kind of stuff. And it's a really neat game that just basically follows her life throughout the course of all of the different events that happen throughout her life, and you're trying to collect different kinds of elements and resources, basically, and you're trying to maximize points on it. So it's really kind of a, I wouldn't say it's an engine builder. It's more like resource management, but it is really fun, and it follows all of the major events in her life very well. And I just really enjoyed it. One of the things that I liked about this game and its predecessor, In the Footsteps of Darwin, was how simple the mechanisms were. It wasn't an overly difficult game. I mean, you've got other games that have come out that have had that, scientific celebrity just on it. Darwin's Journey, which is like everything in the kitchen sink,
Yeah.
and it's complex as all get out. But so I like it when games that have those kinds of themes are not difficult, and they're much more family weight. And that's exactly what In the Footsteps of Marie Curie is. So that's my number 10.
Oh, nice. I have unfortunately have not to play that. I haven't played In the Footsteps of Darwin either.
Mhm.
Either. But
Either one, it
either
doesn't matter.
either
You can say it either way, actually.
either way. Now that you've mentioned it, definitely got to go and look into that one. Now, this is again what happens a lot of times with games, right? You get into them like I do, play them 6, 8, 10 times, then don't play them for a longer period. This game falls into that category. At the beginning of the year, at the end of last year, I actually started playing it again. At the beginning of the year, played it a lot, and that is Shackleton Base.
Ooh,
It's by Fabio Lopiano and Nestor Mangone, who I also love with Autobahn. But that duo, man, they're just fantastic. And at the
yeah,
beginning of the year, I played Shackleton Base quite a bit, and it's just a really good game. It's been probably 4 months since I played it. I just can't wait to get it back to the table when I was making the list because I really, really enjoy that game.
yeah.
And if you, I think it's just a good Euro game. If you're just like consider yourself sort of a Euro player,
Mhm.
you would definitely enjoy Shackleton Base.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that. Shackleton Base is. I was actually interested in the game when I thought it was going to be about that Shackleton trip to Antarctica,
Right,
but they just used it as a name for a moon base that they're trying to build up. But
right.
I think it. We've played this once on the channel as well, and it is. I love how. I originally thought everybody was going to get their own company, but I actually like the way they did it better,
Yes.
where you can control different aspects of each of those different companies. We had a great time playing this, so that's a good pick.
No, thank you. Yeah, and again, like you're saying, with with the different companies, the boxes that come in the
Mhm.
game, the variability of the gameplay is just fascinating, right? I mean,
Yes.
just tons of variability.
Yep. Each company has their own little kind of mechanism that they employ, and the combination of companies that you choose, randomly or not, kind of determines what mechanisms take front stage. So
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very good.
it's
Very good.
very cool. Very cool. All right, my number 9 is a game called Fate: Defenders of Grimheim. This is one that is by the creators of Terraforming Mars, and but it's a castle defense game set within a Viking theme. So, but the idea is that all of the real heroes are off at some wedding or some gathering, and the B team basically has been left to defend Grimheim against
Oh, okay.
trolls, the ice, skeleton dudes, fire people, and I think goblins is the last one. So you have those different factions that are basically making their way into Grimheim, and the heroes of Grimheim have to go out there, or rather the sub-heroes have to go out and try to fight them off. And there are a certain number of buildings within Grimheim, and those basically act like the hit points of the city. If any of those bad guys get into the city, they just destroy a building. So you're trying to last a certain number of rounds. Each of your characters have different special abilities they can do. So there's just a lot of really fun things about it. It's kind of a tongue-in-cheek Viking theme. It doesn't really take itself very seriously at all. Found it on Kickstarter on a crowdfunding campaign, backed it, and it came in, and we just had a blast with it. It's just really good. There's a little bit of a hand management mechanism going into it as far as the different actions that you can do on your turn, and how well those actions happen using the cards in your hand. All of the different characters have their own deck. So it's just a really fun game, and I've really enjoyed it a lot. This is another one. Again, like I said, the bottom four were all tied at 4 plays. But that's my number 9, Fate Defenders of Grimheim.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I've heard of that game, but no, I've not gotten that to the table at all. Number 8 for me is one of my comfort games. And of course, get this to the table quite a bit. And that is Rajas of the Ganges.
Oh,
yeah, I just, again, it's a comfort game. I love that game. If people don't know it, one of the interesting things, and this happens in other games, it's a race game, but you have 2 different tracks around the board, and the game trigger ends is when your 2 tokens pass, and then you finish the round, and whoever has the most points wins. So it's got that mechanism. But again, I just really enjoy the game, a dice placement game where your dice are like workers. So it's got that aspect, which I love in games, the dice worker placement.
Those are cool.
Yeah, and I just really, really enjoy Rajas of the Ganges.
That's cool. I don't believe I've ever played this game.
Really?
And if I have, it's been a while ago, and I've forgotten about it. But it's been around. I've known about it. I've just never had the opportunity to play it, I think. My number 8 is Parks. Parks is one that I had always seen it from a distance, and I was always interested in it, but I never really got around to purchasing it. And then when I saw that they were changing the graphic design of the game for reasons we've talked about on the show already, and I get why they're doing it. It's the whole mass market appeal thing. But I really liked the older design much better, and the older artwork much better. And we were over in a store in Bellevue, and saw it there, the old version, and it also had the expansion also in the old version. So I got them both at the same time, and we've been really having a great time with Parks. Played this one about 4-5 times or something to that effect, and we've really enjoyed it. Basically, you're just taking the theme is you're trying to visit as many of the national parks here in the United States as you possibly can. And whenever you visit a park, it's going to give you points it's going to be worth points at the end of the game. In order to visit those parks, though, they're looking for certain resources that you're going to be collecting along the trail, so to speak. And so it's just a really neat game. Again, has a lot of interesting decisions to make throughout the course of the game, but the mechanisms themselves are not overly difficult. So it works pretty well in an introductory type situation. But I would say for it to really hit the road well, you probably need to have a few plays under your belt, or not be a new gamer, have some experience under your belt to really see all of the different good things that are going on in it. I really enjoy the game a lot, though. It's really fun. I think the theme is great. But that's my number 8, Parks.
Yeah, Parks is a fantastic game, and I'm really glad they do have it in mass market, bringing it there for more people to enjoy, because people do like just the theme of the national parks.
Yep.
And when I was in Utah this past summer, I brought it there. We did a lot of hiking every day over there in what's it called? Snow Canyon. I don't know. One of the, just a lot of hiking. And so the people I played with, of course, hiking, and that's the theme. And it's just good because there's several games that do that mechanic of, hey, there's a lot of good stuff, but if I go too far, you can't go back, right? So that's just the neat thing about it. But Parks is just, that's a good choice. Really, really good game. Coming in at number 7 for me will be another one of my comfort games. However, this year I wanted to take it a little bit further, and that would be Russian Railroads. I absolutely love that game. And this was as many years as I've been playing it. This is the first year that I've ventured into the expansions with German and American, and I still haven't got to Japan, I believe it is. But that was one of my goals to try to get that. But again, just played the base several times, and I went and got German several times, then American. You know what I mean? So that's why I did that. It's just got a lot of good things. It's a basic worker placement, right? That's it with Russian railroads. It's just worker placement. So if that's the kind of mechanic you like in games, then Russian railroads, it just has, that's it. It's worker placement. So it is a really, really good game. And when you play like German and American, it almost makes it a different game. I mean, it still have the base feel, you know what I mean? But it's a really neat dynamic. So it's good to have all of those in the big box. I got up there, Ultimate Railroads, whatever, but all three of those together. So it gives you a lot of variety with just the one title. So Russian Railroads.
That's cool. I played that a couple of times when it first came out, but it was just a little bit, I guess, I don't know if I'm remembering correctly. It was just a little bit too abstract for me, a little bit too Euro-y for me. Now, I was much more of a Amerithrasher back then than I am now. I think I'm a little bit more middle of the road as far as the two parties are concerned in board gaming. But so I might like it more now than I did then. I don't know. I'll have to return to it and see what I think. But I don't remember it being a bad game. It just wasn't one that was for me back then, but that may have changed. All right. My number 7 is the last one that only had 4 plays this year. And that one is a solo game. And this solo game is, I mean, I've been putting this solo game on a lot of lists lately. And for me to have a solo game on a list was kind of an unheard of thing back in the day. But because I'm in a different situation up here in the Pacific Northwest, all of my gaming group have regular jobs. I'm the only one that's really doing this whole content creation thing. It's hard for me to get people to come to the table. And this one, I didn't even really want to play that much, but everybody had been talking about it. My buddy JT owns everything for it. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to borrow some of his stuff and play Final Girl. And I can't fathom why I enjoy this game so much, other than the fact that it is so richly thematic. It is such a thematic game, and all of the different modules that you can kind of put onto it carry the theme of that module. Now, again, the theme is basically a horror movie. That's right. So there isn't a whole lot of derivation from that. It's interesting how the little nuances of each of the different theatrical, whatever you want to call them, carry through. And I'm like, I'm playing the same game. It doesn't matter if I'm playing, the Falconwood Files, which is basically Stranger Things, or whether I'm playing, the North Pole Nightmare at the North Pole, where it's Mrs. Claus fighting Krampus. I mean, I was like, that's ridiculous, but it works. And that's one of the coolest things about it. The card play, the dice rolling, everything works really well together. The AI, the way that the bad guy works against you, everything is just so fun, and I've really enjoyed this one. So it's my favorite solo game, but it's my number 7 here.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like it. You're right; they got a lot of those different modules. And if I'm not mistaken, it was based off of Hostage Negotiator, correct? From the same company, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
I believe
I
so.
played Hostage Negotiator, and that's like the only solo game I've ever played. I just don't really do solo games, but I know Final Girl, got a lot of heat. A lot of people liked it. All the different modules, like you said. So yeah. My number 6, again, continuing with the theme of comfort games. This is the one, like if I'm at a convention and people, late night or whatever, and they're like, oh, I only got about an hour. Great. Here we go. So I guarantee people with the teach and play an hour, but it's a game and I really enjoy it. And when I say game, I mean, it's like a big board game, not like a quick little card game. Right. Sure. And that's Millie Fiore. Millie Fiore is just a really quick. The turns are quick, which I like about it because you just have a choice of a card. You play the card, do the action, move on, do the next card. So it's just quick. I don't think there is sort of like a lot of thinking, right? Because when you have to draft out of your hand and pick one action, one card to play, it's kind of like, okay, this is the best option for me. You know what I mean? So there's not like a lot of AP or anything. It just moves so fast. The teach is very simple. It's very quick, very intuitive. Reiner Knizia title. So anybody who likes Reiner games, it's just great. But it's just a really, really good game. And I'm looking, I got the expansion now. I haven't played that, so I'm looking to add that, throw that in there. But there you go, Millie Fury.
I have never heard of this one. So
really?
Yeah, nope, never heard of it.
Wow, it's you need to try it out, Sam. You really do.
I will try. I'm always open to playing anything. So I've never heard of that title. Maybe after I look at it, I will recognize it, but I don't remember that title.
It's about glass. That theme is glass making, and I think it came out a year or two ago, maybe.
Okay.
So
it's a card game, so it's entirely possible that it just flew under my radar, and I didn't grab it. So
I don't know if you would call it a card game. It uses cards, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it's. Yeah, I don't think you would call it a card because it's a board game and you place tiles down or diamonds or plastic things.
All right.
Yeah, but it's good.
All right, my number 6 is a little game from All Play called Kabuto Sumo. And I've played this one 5 times, at least 5 times. And the reason it's, I know that I played it at least 5 times because this is one of the games that I reviewed for the Dice Tower, and they sent everything in the kitchen sink that they have available for Kabuto Sumo to the Dice Tower, and I brought it all home. And after the cruise this year, I was able to go to the studio and spend a couple of days with them there. And they allowed me to pick some games from their to be reviewed shelves and send it home to me. So this is one of the ones that I did because at Gen Con last year, I had never played Kabuto Sumo before, and so the designer sat down with me and played it with me, taught me how to play it, and really enjoyed it. I'm not a huge fan of dexterity games, but this one is just quirky enough to just really be fun. Because basically all you're really doing is you have a cache of wooden discs in different shapes, and you're trying to push them into the ring, and you're trying to eventually push the other person's wrestlers off or out of the ring, and the first person to do that is the winner. You can play just 2 players. You can play 3 players, 4 players. It really doesn't matter, but it gets a lot, more crowded with more of those wrestlers in the ring. But it's a really fun, and when you play with 4 players, you can play tag team, and they really go the extra mile with the bug wrestling theme, the WWE kind of thing that's there. Anyway, it's just a really fun game. And I say I play it at least 5 times because I probably played it more than that, but I don't track my plays because there's so much I wanted to use before I did the review. I wanted to use as many of the different wrestlers as possible, or at least be part of a game in which they were used so that I could experience how they worked. And man, alive, we had such a great time with this. And I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of that game. It's just so fun. So that's my number 6, Kabuto Sumo.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, it is a dexterity game. It's one of the kind of games I don't play. I've played it once or twice. It's a dexterity game. It's like an activity. But yeah, I mean, there's people enjoy it. There's games for everybody. So here we go. We are now into our top 5 because we are going to be starting there. So now it's the second half where we're sort of making that way up there.
That's how numbers work.
Yes. So the number 5 of my list, again, following the theme. Again, I just like playing the same games over and over again.
Just say the rest of my list are comfort games.
Yeah, almost. They are because I like them and I play them a lot. But
you play them so much.
Is Foundations of Rome. I know we've talked about it on the channel.
Nice.
and I know you've played it too. You liked it, and it's just a great game. It's got that, to me. It's got that sort of nostalgic feel of Battleship in reverse, right? Because people are used to the B7, A10, right?
Mhm.
The whole
Mhm.
grid kind of movement thing. But you're placing and building your buildings up. So it's got that appeal, right? It's got the appeal of seeing your city grow, right? Placing the
Yeah.
buildings down and having it grow, and then trying to make sure you get the civic buildings to get those combos to score the people or the
Yeah.
commerce. And it's just got a lot of good things. And it's one of those kind of games that non-gamers, right? If we're gamers, right? You know what I mean? The difference between
Yep.
if you teach people who aren't gamers, they get it pretty
Yeah.
quick and
Yeah.
really enjoy it. One, because of the look, the feel, the
Yes.
components, but two, because it's just a very rewarding game. It's just a
Yeah.
good game. So my number 5 is Foundations of Rome.
That's a great pick, and you're absolutely right. I think it's just the nature of the real estate theme
Yes.
that just people can grab a hold of. It doesn't take them a whole lot of time just to make sense out of it.
Right.
They get it, and I think the streamlining of the mechanisms, using your money to buy cards, using those cards to when you buy the card, you get that plot, and then what buildings you're going to build on it, that kind of thing. It's really really fun, and you're right. The aesthetic reward that you have during and especially at the end of the game to see what you've created is just an amazing thing.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, my number 5 is also a very aesthetically pleasing game. Not a comfort game, however, because there's just I don't feel like I'm at that point yet. I've played this 5 times though. Critter Kitchen,
Okay.
and Critter Kitchen is one that we actually were introduced to at Dice Tower West this year,
Yeah,
and
we had it on our games table. Yeah.
yep. And my wife and I were being taught by a couple from England, and they had the guy that was teaching us, he had just played a 7-player game of it the night before. And so he felt very confident that he'd be able to teach us, and he did a great job. But it's one of those games where, as you're playing the game about halfway through, my wife and I both basically looked at each other and said, "We need to buy this game," because it was that fun, and we were enjoying it that much. It has. It's from Cardboard Alchemy, the same people that put out Flamecraft, same artist. I can't remember their name, but it's the same artist as Flamecraft, and it's kind of the same idea, but not really. In Flamecraft, you have just a bunch of different places that you're going to go to. In Critter Kitchen, you have multiple workers that you're going to be sending out at 2 different places during the thing to get the ingredients that you need to make all of these dishes. It's a really fun game. I did go the extra mile and get the deluxe version that has all
Oh,
of
you
the
have to. Oh, yeah.
really nice components, and
Yep.
so it's one of those things where it was an extra shiny penny, but it's, in my opinion, it was worth it because it
Yes.
just makes playing the game a little bit more fun. But we really enjoyed Critter Kitchen, and we're super glad to own it. My number 5, Critter Kitchen.
Oh, yeah. And again, it sort of followed its predecessor. Not it's the same game, but Flamecraft. So
Yeah.
you already had that sort of built-in base who liked
Yep.
Flamecraft with Critter Kitchen. But
Mhm.
yeah, with the components and the gameplay, yeah, people really really enjoy Critter Kitchen.
Yep. Absolutely.
My number 4 was on a previous list we did, the top 10 games 30 minutes and under. Uh,
Oh, okay.
I only learned this game again like maybe 4 or 5 months ago, but
Mm,
since then it has almost been the default after a 2-3 hour game. Hey, let's play this game to end the
mm.
night, just a filler. And that's Up or Down by
Oh, okay.
Kramer and Kiesling. I think it's both, right?
Kiesling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kramer and Kiesling. Yep.
Yep. It's just it's I mean, these games, colors and numbers, just fascinate me so much how there can be such a variety of games that strictly use those 2 things,
Hmm.
colors and numbers. That's
Hmm.
all this is. But The gameplay is just fun. The great part, you just got to make these elevators, climbing numbers up and down. It's just colors and numbers. I don't need to explain anymore. But the tension, where like when you get down to the last couple cards, and you're like,
Mhm.
oh no, like you might have to ruin an entire elevator because you just can't place the card. It's just such a really good game. And even with, I think it plays 5, you're still going to be maybe 35 minutes. So you might go over that half-hour mark with, the more
Wow.
players, but you're
Yeah.
still at like 30 minutes. It's just a really good game.
And it makes sense that the games that take less time to play, you're probably going to have more plays of them. Not
Yes.
necessarily so, but it just seems like it's more likely that the lower time commitment games will be played more often.
Mhm.
But again, that's another one that I haven't played. I just haven't had opportunity to. It does sound fun, and I can handle colors and numbers to an extent.
It is. It is. You should get that game to the table, Sam. It's good.
All right. My number 4 is a game that has multiple iterations, and I did kind of just lump all of the iterations into one pile. And that is because the game is essentially the same game. You're just playing it with different bad guys, basically, depending on what game you're playing. And that is Horrified.
Oh,
Horrified is just a game that I was introduced to kind of late. When it first came out, I was still with the Dice Tower in the studio, and Z and Tom took it and ran with it, and they did the review on it, and because they were able to play it more often, and I just never was able to get into one of those games, so I kind of felt like I missed the boat a little bit. And so later on down the road, I saw it in a Target or a Walmart or something like that, and I was like, I'm buying that game because I want to play it, dadgummit. And so I played it, and I was like, wow, this is great. And then shortly thereafter, this is about how late I was to the party. The American Monsters, the second set came out,
mm,
and I bought that one as well. And I actually like it the best. But I've purchased. I think there's 5 of them now. There's even I think a couple of fan made ones that have been made on GameCrafter or something to that effect. I can't remember exactly. I
we
know
have a
the Dice
D&D one
Tower.
now too, right?
Yeah, that's the latest one that just came out, and that's actually JT, my buddy. That's actually his favorite version. He loves that version of the game, and I enjoy it too. But we've played all of them, and they're all great. That's the really cool thing about it. There were a couple that seems like they kind of phoned in the rules a little bit, but the game still plays fine. It's just that it's a little bit more difficult to figure out how it works.
Uh-huh.
But the Greek monster specifically is the one that was seemed like it got phoned in a little bit. But it's such a fun game. It's such a fun system. They have, like I said, 5 different boxes in retail that you can buy, and they've got the Universal monsters, the American monsters, they've got Greek monsters, they've got world monsters, and then they also have D&D. And it's just a great time. We love this game. It's my number 4, Horrified.
Yeah, and that's I haven't played it, but if I'm not mistaken, isn't it sort of loosely based on the pandemic kind of play, or not?
It has you're not trying to get rid of anything off the board like in Pandemic. You're not trying to solve this or solve that, but you are for example, you are each monster has to be defeated a certain way. You
Okay.
can go to these different locations on the board to pick up these different items, and those items are used in different ways depending upon, like the chupacabra, you're trying to feed it as many goats as possible so that you can lure it to the farm and then kill it. With all the way up to the dragon in Dungeons and Dragons, you're trying to use the different colors of items to manipulate things that are in the dungeon that will allow you to get the dragon orb, and then that will allow you to lure the dragon to a certain space. It actually has 2 different levels of things that you have to do in order to defeat it. But it's really, it is a cooperative game.
Right.
and you do have to travel around the board and pick up different things and use them to do certain things in other places. But and you do have some cards that will help you, but I don't draw the connection between the two.
Okay. All
I
right.
think the only real connection is that they're both cooperative.
Right. Okay. Like I said, I've never played it. That's just what I had heard. So,
Mm.
okay. Very good. Number 3 is a game that I was determined after I left the gathering this year to make sure that I was going to find a group home to play this game, because I literally only play it at conventions, and I got on my
Mm.
nerves because I love playing this game. So I was able to do that. I was able to
Yeah.
come home, teach people the game, started playing it, and that is Tishu. Um,
Ooh.
I absolutely love Tishu, but again, the fallback was that I literally only played it at conventions.
Hmm.
So just so people know, it is a trick taking. It's a trick taking game, but again, it's a climbing shedding game. It's not whatever, but it falls in that category. But it's climbing shedding. It's a 4-person team game. So you got partnerships, and it's good. And like I said, I know we've talked about this on the channel, and I'll just go ahead and say it. I'll admit it. I don't care. I am a snob, right? It's one of those kind of games where it's I've said, like, it's like, hey, you want to play Tishu? And people are like, yes, let's go Tishu. I love it, but I don't want that. Oh, yeah, I played it once or twice. Sure, I'll play. And then no, I really don't want to play with you. I'm sorry, no. You know what I mean?
Scratch that. Forget I said anything.
Yeah, I don't. Again, it's like I want to play with people who are Tishu players. Like I said,
Yeah.
I'll just say it, and I mean, that's the way it is. I just love that game, and I love
Well,
every chance to play of it.
there are certain games that lend towards that. You once you've played it enough, you don't really enjoy it unless you're playing it with other people who have played it the same amount as you do,
Correct.
and you're all
Correct.
kind of on the same level.
Yep.
Because that's when you make decisions that you're, especially when there's a team art, when you have a partner and that partner is relying upon your knowledge of the game to make proper decisions within the game.
Correct.
That's just one of the, like, Rook is an older game that is very much like that. And it's a trick taking game. But if you don't know what you're really doing in Rook and your partner does, you're gonna make them angry very, very fast. So yeah, I totally understand that. All right, my number 3 is a game that just came out recently. Now, I've known that this game was coming out. My wife and I have played no less than 5 games so far, and we've only had this game for maybe a month and a half. But we've played no less than 5 scenarios of Star Wars Battle of Hoth, and this is one that I knew I was going to. Well, okay, I didn't know, but I knew. You know what I mean?
No, you knew.
That I
You
was
knew,
going to
Sam.
like
You knew.
this. I
You knew
knew.
because it's the Memoir 44, right?
It's built on Memoir
Yeah. So
44,
you knew.
and
You knew.
Memoir 44 is in my top 5 games of all time, and it's Star Wars, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So it's like you would have really had to screw something up for me
Right.
not to
Right.
like this game.
Yeah. Right.
So I get it. And some of the things that, as I was going through and learning to play the game, they took some of the things out for all of the troops and made special unit troops can only do that thing. Like taking ground, as far as I can tell, is only reserved for a certain kind of troop that not all scenarios use. It used to be that any infantry unit can take ground. So it's little nuances like that I wasn't expecting. But after I've played it for a while, I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. I kind of get it. There had to be a little bit more differentiation between Memoir 44 and Star Wars Battle of Hoth, and I get it. So I'm totally on board with it. It's one of the things that we've kind of committed to playing through all of the scenarios that come in the box together, and then we're going to tackle the campaign mode together, and then we're going to tackle epic mode together. So it's going to be those things where I know I'm going to play this more, even in the remaining few months that are in this year. So that's why it made the list here at number 3, Star Wars Battle of Hoth.
Yeah, that's great to look forward to.
Mhm.
When you know you're going to play a game several times, try to flush it out. Like I said, with Russian
Yep.
railroads, different modules and all that. Yeah, that's really great to look forward to. And that sort of ties into my number 2, because it's
Ooh.
sort of the same way of approaching the game. So
Mhm.
actually tonight is going to be our 10th play in a row. We've played 10 weeks in a row because we were 10xing this game. And
Wow.
on top of that, I probably played it at least another 10, 12 times. But tonight will be our last one, because this 10th week in a row. And that is Galactic Cruise. I am
Wow.
just so in love with this game. I really am. I just think, I, I know we've talked about it before, but the packaging, the design, tool, just everything. Their first time, this company, Kinson Key Game,
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
everything about it. I'm just so proud of these guys, and I'm so grateful that it seems like it was definitely a labor of love. They didn't
Yeah.
try to like rip you off or play. They just did everything right. I
Yeah.
just, so good.
Mhm.
And the thing that I've learned, doing this 10x, like 10 weeks in a row, and again, like I play a lot of games, repeat anyway, it's making my overall gameplay better on any games I'm playing because when you've played a game so much, like I said, this is gonna be our 10th time, you look for certain things. I'm like, oh, okay, what does the advanced worker do? What is it? So at the
Yeah.
beginning of the game, I'm mapping out the whole game. I'm looking at all the different parts, right, to make my game come together. And that was sort of been one of my problems. I've always been envious of people who could do that. Like
Mhm.
right in the beginning of a game, sort of map out the whole game because
Yeah.
takes always takes me a while to kind of piece it together. But by doing this, it's made just my overall gameplay with any other games better because
Mhm.
now
Yeah.
I'm sitting down to a game and I'm trying to get the whole picture from the get-go.
Yep.
So it's been very rewarding. And yeah, it's just it's people compare it to a Lacerda type game, which I've never played. Unfortunately, I haven't gotten into Lacerda yet, but it's a kind of heavier on that level.
Yeah.
A lot going on. It's just
Yeah.
really, really good. So Galactic Cruise is my number two.
Yes. One of the things about there is a ton of things going on, but because of, and this is one of the reasons why I say theme matters, because the theme works so well with all of the different moving parts, it doesn't feel like a Lacerda game because a Lacerda game, while he's a great designer, don't get me wrong, and while a lot of his games are very smooth, um, Kinson Key knocked this one out of the park.
They did.
I'm going to go out on a very fat limb here and say that this one is at the very least going to be in the running for game of the year in many people's books.
Oh, for
And
sure. For
if
sure.
it isn't, I will absolutely cry foul. I'm not a huge fan of the game, but I do see how good of a game that it is, and I have played it, and I did really enjoy it. But man, if this doesn't get game of the year, something is, in my opinion, woefully wrong. They knocked this one out of the park, and they deserve it.
They do. However, I just want to just throw one more thing in there. The only
Yeah.
sort of bad thing or negative thing I've heard from some people about playing this game, which could be sort of the downfall or one of the reasons they may not win Game of the Year, is the game is called Galactic Cruise. However, for people who've only played it 2, 3 times, maybe one of their frustrations, and I've heard from several people, is, geez, the game is called Galactic Cruise, and I only got off 3 cruises. It's like I spend this whole time and I don't even get to really do what the game is about. But again, after playing 10 times, I realize now I'm up to 6, 7 cruises, or you're getting more because you figure out little nuances and things to
Yeah.
do, right?
Yeah.
So, but again, that just comes with growth, with learning and
Right.
playing the game. So,
Yeah, and that can be true of any game. Any game,
absolutely, absolutely.
especially with one that's that beefy,
Mhm.
you have to take multiple plays. You can still determine after a few plays whether or not you like it or not,
Oh, for
and
sure,
and
for
and
sure.
what you do like and what you don't like. But to really dive in underneath the muscle and see the ligaments and all that kind of stuff, and really what makes that thing move, you have to get more than just a few plays in.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
but I think even with that, this is almost a shoe in. I components, production quality, gameplay, fun factor.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it blows everything out of the water. So it's
Hey,
like,
I'm with you, Sam. Like I'm one of their biggest champions, right? So
yeah,
I'm hoping
absolutely.
it does
I'm
get
with you.
all the
I'm with
accolades it
you.
deserves.
My number two is almost on the other end of the spectrum from the complexity spectrum, at least. Although
Okay.
there's a lot of good stuff going on, especially when you get to the scoring part of it. But this one is Forest Shuffle. We have played, and I'm including Dartmoor in this one as well, because we have played the new Dartmoor standalone that's in there. But Dartmoor is Forest Shuffle with a couple extra things thrown into it. It's not really that much of a different game. So I went ahead and thrown it in there. It probably would still be up this high, even if I hadn't included Dartmoor, because we've played this at least 6 times. Well, at least 5. You include Dartmoor. We've only played Dartmoor once, so we put it at 6, and we really enjoy this game. Our only downfall of this game, it's a great tableau builder where you're planting trees into your forests, and then you're populating those trees with animals and all kinds of different flora and fauna. And it's just one of those things where it's such a pleasing game, a rewarding game, because you can see what you've done. But my goodness, Lookout Games needs capital N, capital E, capital E, capital D, capital S, needs to make a scoring app for this game.
For sure.
I don't know how it's going to happen. I have no idea how to make a scoring app, but I know Lookout Games needs to do this.
Yes.
Otherwise, Forest Shuffle is going to fall by the wayside. It's gonna be dead in a couple of years because people are going to get tired of scoring this game. We are not at that point, but I can see it coming in the future. But man, we really enjoy playing this game. It is such a fun game to play, and it's so aesthetically pleasing. But I really enjoy this game a lot, and that's why it's my number 2, Forest Shuffle.
Yeah, Forest Shuffle definitely. I can definitely see why people like it. It's got things in it that for me personally I don't enjoy, because the game is good, right? It's a good, enjoyable game. Like, you get to build all kind of stuff, but it's hard to even know what you're doing, right? With the scoring, keeping track of all that kind of stuff. But you can't tell what anybody's doing, the way you tuck cards and this or that. You just can't really see it. So you're just hoping, again, it's just a me thing. I just don't enjoy games where you're hoping people are playing and scoring properly. Right. You just have to put your trust that they are placing the cards right, scoring right, doing all that kind of stuff right, because you just can't really follow it or see it because it's just hard. So here we are, folks. We are finally, after 9 games, coming to our number 1 played game.
Numero uno
of 2025. So far, we still got, what, a month and a half? No, 2.5.
Oh, my number 1 will not change. I am. This one has far and above exceeded all of the other ones. Even if we did this on December 31st, I doubt that it would not be my most played game this year.
Oh, you know what? I kind of think mine almost falls into that category too. So, number 1, I love this game. It was nominated for a lot of awards last year.
Yeah.
The thing about this game is, well, I can't remember, Sam, but you'll know what I'm talking about, right? Because we come from that generation. What was the thing you can't just have one? The candy or something? You can't eat just one or whatever? Was it Reese's Peanut Butter Cup or Mounds or I don't know. But you know what I'm talking about, right?
I thought it was Lay's potato chips. I thought it was
maybe that was it. I don't know, but
I thought it was Lay's potato chips. You just gotta you finish the whole bag before so you can't eat just one. Yeah,
can't eat just one. Yeah, something. But if folks, please write it in the comments, whatever it is.
Maybe it was Pringles. Maybe it was Pringles.
Yeah, but anyway, this game, you cannot just play one game, whether you win or lose. Never happens. Never ever happens. And that is The Gang.
I knew it.
Yes. The Gang. No matter what, it's impossible to just play it once, right? No matter if you win or lose, you just can't. Whether I teach people for the first time, we're veteran, whatever, you got to play 2, 3, 4 times, and that's why it's so high for me. Because usually when I play the game, it's at least 3 or 4 times, right, in a session that we play this game. Yeah, it is. It's like, I've talked about before. My number 1 favorite genre of gaming is cooperative games with limited communication or hidden information, and that is what The Gang is. We've talked about all the nuances, all those subtleties. Basically Texas Card Hold'em, fully cooperative. Just so enjoy this game. And the disappointing thing for me is I just don't know, since it's such a basic kind of game, right? We've all talked about it when we played the game. It's like, how come nobody's ever thought of this before? How come I didn't think of this before? It's like, it's just right there, right? Just make,
Yeah.
so I don't know how much more could ever come of the game, right? If it can
Mhm.
really evolve much more. You can maybe
Yeah.
come up with creative ways to come up with the different missions or restrictions and all this kind of stuff. But it's kind of sort of, to me, it's there. It's like
Yeah.
it's sort of at its peak. They
Right.
did it right the first time.
Yep.
But still, with that being said, I look forward, so forward to playing this game each and every time I have the opportunity.
Absolutely. Yep. And I think it falls into the same category as Tishu, to an
Oh,
extent.
yes.
To an
Yes.
extent, because
Yes.
I know we play. You're absolutely right. It's one of those games. If you win, you want to play it again. If you lose, I think you want to play it again even more. Especially
Right.
the person teaching the game, because it's like, why didn't these idiots get this game? We're gonna play again right
Yeah, yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it's one of those things where if you're playing with people who don't know poker as well, it's going to get frustrating for you.
For sure.
But it is such a fun game because of that cooperative nature of it. So I enjoyed it when you taught it to me. What was it? Was it the retreat or was it at Dice Tower? I think it was probably the retreat, because you're usually
It could have
you're
been
usually too
in,
busy at Dice Tower
yeah,
West.
in 24, the retreat in
Yes.
24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last year.
Uh,
And so I totally get it. We've played it with JT and Mel, and JT and Mel are both kind of big poker players, and Jesse and I and another lady, Beth, we were playing it at one of our church meetups, and Beth, Mel, and JT were all on the same level. Me and Jesse, we were not on the same level. So I totally get it. All right, my number one is I have played at least 14, maybe even at least 15 times this year, and I'm set to play it at least three more times this year, because I just started the 1964 Championship Series Race 1 yesterday live on the channel, and that is Heat Pedal to the Metal.
mm,
I have played this game. Now, again, I think I think 13 of those plays have been solo plays, because I've played through 1961, 62, and 63, the entire championship series that comes in the core box. I just started the one that comes in Heavy Rain, the first expansion, yesterday, and I'm going to finish that up here in the coming weeks. But we just played it at a game night that we held at our house last Saturday, and we played a 6-player game of it, just bare bones Heat, where it's just, we didn't use the weather modules, and we didn't use any of the legends or anything like that. We didn't use any of those things. We just use the bare bones. We're racing around this track twice. Whoever gets there first wins, that kind of thing. And everybody had such a great time. And it's just one of those games where I'm so glad I got this game. And I'm again, I've said it before on some of these other ones. I don't think I'm ever going to get rid of it, because it's just one of those things where it's so fun. Everybody knows racing, right? Everybody, at least from a distance, everybody knows what racing's like. Everybody knows the idea. What am I supposed to do in this game? You're supposed to go as fast as possible. You're trying to get around the track first.
right.
That's it. There's nothing to figure out except how I do that. And that's one of the cool things about this game. So that's my number one by far and away. Like I said, Forest Shuffle we played 6 times. Um, I've played at least 15 games of Heat Pedal to the Metal. There's not even close. It's distant second. So I know that this one's probably going to be, especially with what I have planned for the future on the channel, nothing's going to overtake this. So such a great game. Heat Pedal to the Metal.
So there you go, folks. I mean, as we told you, right, to make sure you understand about our list, neither Samurai, like, officially track games, don't have the BGG
Right.
stack and do all that kind of stuff. This is just our general estimation. And like I told you, at least my list, because Sam was about like 4 to 14, like he said, I think his number 10 was like 4. His top was about 14. My number 10 was about 6, and my top one, The Gang, is probably 30. Galactic Cruise alone is like 18 or 20, right? And so
that's a lot of time, bro.
It is. It is. But again, I enjoy. But again,
no, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are people who've probably, because you're right, it's a lot of time, but you've probably played a multitude of different games within the same amount of time, right? So I just play the one game in that one time.
Yeah.
You play several different.
No, I mean, I think I've played this year so far. I've probably played upwards to about 80 different titles, 80 unique titles. And then I've had, multiple plays of a lot of those unique titles. So, no, I'm not saying that you spend more time gaming than I do. I'm just saying.
No. I know what you're saying. But, that's the point I was trying to make is, like you said, you're about 80 games. I'm maybe at 25 because I just play like the same game over and over and over and over.
You play Galactic Cruise 20 times. That's
I know. Exactly. So, so listen. In the comments, do us a favor and tell us if any of the games on our lists are some of the ones you enjoy too, that you may have had those multiple plays. But it'd be interesting to see what are your, say, even top 3. Just throw them in the comments, games that you have played this year, because it's good to see the people who are in the cult of the new, right? If a lot of the games, because again, my games are, right? Some of my games are in the cult of the new, right? Yeah. Galactic Cruise, SETI, Shackleton, right? Those, but I have a lot of cover games. Or if you're heavily weighted towards the games that are older that you're familiar with and you've played before. And also another interesting thing to be, are you playing a lot of the more time-consuming, heavier games, or a lot of the games, the shorter, quicker games, right? Like my number 1 was The Gang, short, quick card game. Number 2 was Galactic Cruise, big, heavy game. So, it can vary all over the place.
Yep, absolutely can.
Yeah, so it'd be interesting to hear that. But it's been fantastic, Sam. This is a great list.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a lot of different games, and I guess this would give them sort of a good indication of the type of games we like, right?
Yep, absolutely does. Yeah,
because also with you, it's not necessarily just the games you're doing for your job or for work. It's also games you enjoy as well, right?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and that's really kind of the gist of it. You fall into a trap as a content creator that I have to play all of the new stuff. Well, you can only drink from the fire hose for so long before that gets wearisome. And so you start going back to things that you have not played in a while, things that are on my shelf that I haven't played for a long time. I'm going to be doing later on today. I'm doing a solo game of Cave versus Cave, Caverna Cave versus Cave, because it's got a solo mode in it. It's a 2-player game, but it's got a solo mode in it. And I didn't realize that until I opened it back up on It Belongs in a Museum earlier this week. So I'm going to be playing that because I just want to go back and try it, So it's cool.
Yeah, it's so funny when you mention that now, because I'm like, as soon as you said that title, I'm like, oh, I got it right there. I just love it. Oh man, I just love that game. I should get that at the table. There's just so many games. It's so hard.
Many games.
So
little time.
In so little time,
especially when you play Galactic Cruise 20 times a year.
Yeah, that's true. I'm not giving any love to a lot of games. Galactic Cruise is taking up a lot of time. So yes,
that's great.
Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of the Western Contingent. I hope you enjoyed this list. We will see you again in the future sometime.
Yep.
But signing off, I am Tim from Las Vegas.
Sam from the Pacific Northwest. See you on the flip side, folks.
Bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.